everybody, and welcome to Hex Token Channel. Your host, Superman, in the house. Woohoo! Yeah. Man, do you like the topics? We've got so many things happening. We can just change the topic of the video just like that. It's just crazy. There's so much happening. So much in the PulseChain Hex community that is happening. People building Dapps. They're building some of the best innovation in the world. And, of course, people are getting to benefit. Sacrifices are benefiting. Stakers are benefiting, which is the main two things that we've been talking about. And it's been going crazy good. So I hope you guys are enjoying yourself. And we have a bit of a fun session today. I will get my my video out later on today, my short form video, day 5, procrastination. I will get it out. It's going to be done. So it's going to be cool. Let's get into it, folks. We've got lots to talk about. We're going to start off with the stock market, get into crypto. And then, of course, we're going to get into what else? We're going to get into PulseBitcoin. That is the next big launch. Yesterday, we covered pretty hefty. We covered the BNB Pot, world's first peer-to-peer crypto casino. And, of course, we're going to talk about that later on with an update of how that's going. But we've got the next big launch coming up, PulseBitcoin, from the Pulse Dogecoin founder. And, of course, we're going to be covering that pretty in decent detail, I think, at least a good first pass. So stay tuned for that. And, of course, we're going to talk about the prices, the market prices, and Hex Daily stats are coming up. Stay tuned for that. We're going to also harvest our yield farming on PulseX. We do that on this channel every couple of days, maybe every week. We will harvest our PulseX if we remember. We've got to remember, of course, but we do it. And, of course, we're going to get into that. So stay tuned, folks. It's going to be a lot of fun. And let's see who's in the house, first of all. We've got a couple of people already. BDC in the house. Good to see you. I stubbed my crypto. That's a hilarious name, man. Honestly, that's funny. And, of course, Unprotected Hex in there. Moontime. Look at these names. I mean, these names are just crazy. So pretty cool. We've got Francis in the house as well. Hello, Francis. Vance says, hi, I'm on vacation in the Philippines. So I haven't been on much. Hey, Vance, it's good to see you in the house. Hey, definitely take that time out, rest up, enjoy, said Vance. Katie in the house there. Woo! Great day to be a Hexkin. It definitely is always a great day. Every day is a great day to be a Hexkin. Check out hex.com. The links are in the video description. And, of course, if you want the ultimate savings product inside crypto, founded by Richard Hart himself, one of the few coins to do 10,000x, over 20,000x if you're a staked, then get into that. And, of course, nice price entry at the moment. We're going to talk more about that later on. Vance says, deleted my wallets on phone while traveling abroad, can't do anything until I get back. That's probably a wise decision given how, phones can be tapped and stuff. Rango's in house here. Let's go, Superman. Morning all. Good to see you, Rango. Pleasure as usual. And we've got Blobfish King as well. What's that there? Sacrifices and PulseBot taking nice profits. Now a very good buy, I think. Not financial advice. Yeah, that's right. So we expected a lot of this pullback with the sacrifices and a few traders as well. There'll be a few traders in there as well. And no surprises there. Wookie, it's only day 1. We're only still in day 1 to launch, so it's pretty early times. Wookie says is here for the tech. I like that, Wookie. We're here for the tech. That's right. Everyone in crypto is there for the tech. How's Howdy Superman ready for some alpha? Brett says, Brennan, ready for some alpha. And I like that, Brennan. I like how you talk there. Dave Dunley says, I can feel it. I can feel it's getting closer. PulseChain. Are you talking about PulseChain? PulseChain is one day closer. I feel it too. A lot of people are getting a bit more upbeat since Richard had his update. Maybe we'll play that video later on. Remind me to play Richard's PulseChain video. We'll talk about that later. Christian's in the house there. Hello, familia, says Christian. Good to see you. And as always, and Francis in there as well. Hello. Eric says, Epic says, sorry, so pumped for all that is coming. I know we have so much stuff happening. Let me remind us of what we've been having during the bear market. We've had Icosa, Hedron. We've had Maximus. We've had BNB Pot. And, of course, all the products in there. We've had what must be huge numbers, 1.1 billion Hex staked through the Maximus products. I haven't done the latest numbers, but it's got to be 600 million or something like that. And the HSIs might be higher. I have got to get some updated numbers, but they're crazy. We have been having a good time. SKB in the house there. Wood. They good to see SKB. Oh, yeah, we had Pulse Dogecoin, of course. That was a big airdrop. We've had Weight Token. There's so many airdrops as well. Let me not forget all the airdrops. We're going to talk about the airdrops later on. Remind me of that as well. We're going to refresh of that. We've got a new category in the Hex Discord, and of course Hex Token Discord, and it's got all the airdrops and stuff coming up. So we're going to try and keep that folder up to date. So stay tuned for that. A big shout out to Ted, of course. I think it's a Cryptographics. I think it is. Just hit 10,000 subs. Congratulations to him. And of course, he gave a giveaway of 1 million PulseX. I guess he's going to distribute that at the launch. And of course, that went to one of our very popular members of our Hex Token Discord community, Ted. So big shout out to Ted for that. Congratulations on that one. If it gets to 1 cent, of course, on PulseX, that's $10,000. And of course, it gets to $1, that's $1 million. $1 million. I don't think I did that quite right, but that's kind of the idea there. Gal's in the house there. Yo. Glad to see you getting a following, says Gal. I appreciate that. Yeah, I guess it's you cover a lot of good content. People come. So that's what we've been doing. We've been talking about different projects and welcoming different communities to the Pulse chain. So you'll see we'll be doing a lot of that on this channel. I know that Jim Rat Crypto is doing a lot of that. Corey Costa is doing a lot of that. We really want to welcome in the new communities into the Pulse chain. I think it's going pretty nicely. So good observation. SKB in the house as well. Woo! Good to see you, SKB. And of course, SKB was the first ever Hex Token channel member. So big shout out to you, SKB. I always remember that. And hey, I'm like an elephant. Don't forget those things. So big shout out. We got Sarah G in the house. Finally get to listen. Hey, Sarah G, welcome. It's a pleasure. Great to have you in the chat as well. Yeah, get involved, and we love to hear from you as well. Pulse Beta's in the house there. Good to see Pulse Beta as always. And it's a good time to be in crypto. BNB Pot, day one. Yeah, it's just day one at the moment. Pulse Bitcoin, the next. And of course, yeah, sooner than later, we will see the daddy of them all at Pulse Chain. I can smell it in the air. Hey, well said, Pulse Beta. Well said. That is so true. Don't forget Pulse Sen, though. Conrad had a good interview with Crypto Harpy earlier. I did watch that. I actually watched it, Pulse Beta. I actually got to see the interview of Conrad Zen on Crypto Harpy. Obviously, Conrad Zen's done a huge amount for the Hex and Pulse Chain community, and we don't overshoot that. Obviously, he's launched his own token, but of course, Crypto Heartbeat and Rag to Riches also launched the Texan token, the first endowment token going to be on the Pulse Chain, but they're also targeting up to 500,000 people in Texas to onboard them as no coiners, and we want to support that. We're really trying to welcome as many people as we can to the Pulse Chain community. So that's just the way this channel is looking at it too. Michael Racine in the house. Hey, hi. Good to see you, Michael. And Ted, the winner. Woo-hoo-hoo! Well done, Ted. We're not worthy, Ted. We're not worthy. You lucky dude. Well done, man. That was so good. Hey, man, just got home from reffing high school soccer game. Just found out myself about the crypto graphics giveaway. What a surprise. Yeah, well done, Ted. Well done. I was just saying, if it reaches a cent, that's $10,000. If it reaches a dollar, that's $1 million. Hey, and welcome to crypto, where dreams come true. That's all we can say, Ted. And I'm sure, hopefully the high school game was well reffed. I hope you reffed it really well. And the right team won in the end of the day. We're all winners. If you just try the effort, we're all winners. Is that the way it goes? I think so. Lethargy's in the house there. Hey, you all. Good to see you, Lethargy. And, of course, Brian in the house, one of our 2 community mods. Can't say enough good stuff about our moderators and community leaders in our Discord. We've got Brian and Sammy as our community leads. We've got 10 moderators and do all amazing job. Sandy Beach, I'm linked, and many others, Wookie, and lots of heaps of people in there. So Katie as well. Pretty cool. We've got Vistator in the house there. Pulse Bitcoin will mount faces. I'm pretty excited about it. We're going to talk about it later. We're going to actually do, that's probably the main top project we'll be covering during this live stream. That's, after all, that's what it's called. Pulse Bitcoin mining Dapp launches in 20 hours. So that's 20 hours from now, because I tried to forward look at that. So it's pretty cool. Hex Pineapple says, I always like your show. Thanks, Hex Pineapple. I appreciate that. Big shout out to you as well. And Hex. That's right. So we're going to be covering all of that. Of course, Hex Daily Stats coming up later on. And we're covering everything in Pulse Chain. Pulse Chain, Richard Hart is forking Ethereum proof of stake. And of course, that means we're going to be talking about lots of projects. That's just the way it is. So we're welcoming a lot of communities into the Pulse Chain. Everything on Ethereum is going to get forked. I mean, it's over 550,000 ERC20 tokens, folks. 550, it's over 500,000, and they're all coming. So we already know that big communities like SHIB are already coming. It's going to be a lot of fun. So stay tuned. And you guys are early. In fact, you guys might be arriving at the right time, because if we get a launch coming up in December, January, that'd be super awesome. Even if it's later on, March or somewhere like that, you're still early. So pretty cool. We're looking forward to like a December, January. We really hope that it's going to be somewhere in that ballpark. So stay tuned. All right, let's get into it, folks. The stock market news. Man, what an intro that was. Man, I haven't done one that long for a while. I will leave timestamps after the video, I think. It's probably appropriate. S&P 500 stumbles as rising yields dent tech. And, of course, we've got some stock footage there of the video. It's crazy in these things if you've ever been to these floors. I went to one of these floors where they trade like this. a long time ago, and man, it's crazy. I've actually been on the other side of the phone doing deals, but never on a trading floor like this, so it's pretty crazy. They bid out and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, let's jump over to the results at the moment. The Dow Jones, the top 30 industrials, that's down 1/3%, at down 100 points to 30,423. At 30,000 is really crucial. Let's have a look at the last let's have a look at the last year on here and have a look at the time. Yeah, we were up all the way up at 36,300, so it gives you an idea of how far we've come down. So you'll be seeing a lot of stuff around there, and of course we've already had kinks, so we're already coming down. So the trend of a downtrend does not look like it's going away. We've got interest rates coming up, so let's just keep that in back of mind there on the yearly chart. If we go to the 5-yearly chart on the Dow Jones, we can see it's all gone all the way up the top there, and you can see we've just started coming down. So definitely got chinks in the armor now. And of course, look at this. This to remind ourselves of what happened back in early 2020. Of course, we knew what was happening at that time, but look how quickly that came down. And of course, that's what we are fearful of going in the future. So let's just keep that mindful. These things do happen where we get 6 to 7% down days or more. So very, very cool. It's nice to see us holding this 30,000 mark for the Dow Jones at the moment, but we've still got a few little things to come up before the end of the year, like a couple of interest rate rises. So that's pretty much it. The Standard & Poor's 500 is down 25 points, down 2/3% at 3695. And our NASDAQ, with a lot of the tech companies in it, the FANG stocks, as they call them, is down 92 points, or just under 0.9%. Sorry. And of course, that's at 10,680. The volatility index, the VIX here, that is up almost 1%, and of course that's at 30.76. We've got the dollar index, so this is the dollar versus the trading partners, and of course remember the dollar is the world's reserve currency. It's still at the moment, and of course I imagine it's going to be for a little bit while longer, despite people, countries trying to undermine it. So there we are. That's where we're at the moment. It is up 0.75% to 112.83 there on the dollar index. And you can see the dollar index. Look at that, up and away. Of course, the real value of the dollar is being deflated by inflation, but other than that, it is nominally speaking, it is rising pretty high. All right, cool. Let's jump over to the commodities and have a look at that. Obviously, after the OPEC cartel was given back to power by the current U.S. administration. That's right, folks. And of course, Brent oil there is at up $2 to $92. And of course, up 2.2%. Crude West Texas there is up $2.21 or 2.7% at $84.28. And of course, we can see on the last look over the last year here, we can see that the Brent oil there has got all the way up to 123. People were really worried about it getting to 140, 150. Definitely a good scenario at the time. It has pulled back at the moment, but I have a feeling that it's probably going to pick up a bit later on now that we've got the supply cut, etc. And there's a lot of volatility in front of us. So I don't know if this has gone away in terms of getting back over 100. So we'll be watching that pretty closely. Up $2 today. Gold is down at 1633. So really that pulled back. And of course, the high in the last year was all the way up at 2,046. So it's down quite a bit. And the silver there, $18.40. Now, silver is what Kiyosaki, the rich dad, poor dad, talks about being the poor man's investment in the volatile period ahead. And of course, that is that's referring to he thinks that the silver price is going to probably do, I think it was something like 2 or 3x from here. We'll see though, because there's a lot of issues to come before that happens. So that's pretty much it on the indicators. I've just got to get back into the article, so we're going to read that and just wait till it loads up. I accidentally clicked on the gold button there. Gold. Could you blame me? It was blinging at me. Bling, bling, bling. All right, let's get into the commentary. And of course, I've lost all my color coding, but hey, that's fine. The Dow Jones slit Wednesday as rising yields put the squeeze on tech stocks, overshadowing upbeat quarterly results, pointing to better than expected earnings seasons. So we had the first 2 days, remember, have been really green, like really bullish, and of course a little pullback. We're expecting this volatility in this phase, have been for months, and nothing it's delivered, isn't it? It's really delivered. Big tech dragged the market lower, with Google and Microsoft leading the downside after 10-year Treasury yields jumped to 14-year highs on bets the Federal Reserve is likely to persist with aggressive rate hikes. No change in the narrative there. Against persistent core inflation, the Fed is on track to continue tightening at a faster pace than originally anticipated. Remember, core inflation excludes food and energy prices. So remember that. Morgan Stanley said in a note, forecasting the Fed to hike rates by 75 basis points in November, 50 basis points in December, and 25 basis points in January. And like I said to you before, we really don't want them to keep rising into December. Hopefully, the inflation has stayed in that sort of mid-low 8% mark. 8.2, remember, was the last. 8.2% was the last results that we had for September. So this is kind of where I feel this is going to be too. So these numbers, pretty happy with that. The only caveat to that is, hey, on the 2nd of November is the interest rate meeting. The 2nd November. On the December, this is the 14th. So you need to plan your investments around there. If you're doing, I know a lot of you have long-term investments, and that's what we like to suggest on this channel. But of course, some of you have that that's a certain amount allocated to more speculative plays, and that's cool. And that is on the 14th of December. So just remember that with these things. Now, between this time, between the 14th, after the 2nd November. Remember, we've got the big Hex HSI stakes for Hedron coming up on the 13th. So, that's the 13th US time, 14th down under here in Australia, New Zealand, Pacific Islands. So that's pretty important to remember. They've also got the midterms coming up, and I have a feeling there is a scenario here where maybe we only get 50 basis points on this November rise. Let's see what happens there. But at the moment, I guess the mainstream scenario is the 75 basis points on November. But the market's kind of expecting that, and so I think we might be able to walk through that. Now, the problem with this, though, is even if we add that up and we get to, I think it's going to get us to 3.75% on the federal funds rate, the residential rates are already at 7.5%. So they're just going to go up again to 8.25. That's really starting to hit the residential sector. We're already seeing cracks in the real estate market already, and that's a real worry. So there's a lot of stuff on the financial markets is really going to start impacting the real world, the physical markets, and that's a real problem. So we'll be watching that out in the future as well. Some sentiment on tech, however, was boosted somewhat by blowouts resulting from Netflix as the streaming giant reported third quarter results that bet on both top and bottom lines as subscriber growth resumed. Obviously, that's a very controversial platform, Netflix, and of course they've had some hits on the subscriber growth. And what else there? Netflix added 2.4 million net subscribers and guided net adds of 4.5 million a quarter, prompting some Wall Street to suggest that the company's trend subscriber losses were over. So obviously, those had losses due to controversial content and partnerships. So that is managed to bounce back on that for the moment until the next one, right? Until the next one. Netflix was unownable when net adds turned negative. And while there was always a bit ebbs and flows in the slate, it's now tough to see losses in the future years. I would disagree with that. Really, it's going to be subject to the content that they make. Let's see where they head from there. Let's jump through some of this. So we're going to jump through all that. Consumer discretionary stocks fell amid pressure from home builder stocks. The data showed further signs of slowing in the housing market. This is the one we want to watch, folks, is the housing market. Really is pretty crazy there. U.S. home building fell more than expected in September. These are the cracks that we were kind of expecting to see. While mortgages demand fell to the lowest level since 1997 following a surge in interest rates. As I said, around 7.5% in the U.S. That's not funny. That's not a joke. That's getting expensive. Like I said, we're moving from a period of cheap money to more expensive money. And that's kind of paying out there in the retail world. So we're going to keep watching that sort of aspect of the markets. And that's pretty much it for the update for the stock market. The crypto market, of course, is sitting at 19,127. A bit of a flat. It's quite flat on the market. Obviously, flat on the stock market there with the results. Also flat on the crypto as well. ETH at 1,284, down 2%, and BNB at 271. Pretty red. The floor is lava, as they say, and looks pretty much like that across the board. Uni is a little bit green, just up a tad there, but not much, right? Not much. So that's pretty much it on the crypto. Let's get over to the Hex market. Hex also sort of just trading sideways in the accumulation zone. So let's get into the Hex price here. This is the Hex chart. And actually, I need to bring up my other chart. Let me just bring up my DEX tools chart because I think this will give us I've got all my technicals on there. Let's have a quick look at that. And let's have a look. Wait for that to upgrade. Let's go full screen on that. So this, you guys will be familiar. I haven't brought this up for every. I used to bring it up every day, but I haven't brought it up for a while. Let's have a look at some of the numbers on here, though. This is on a different time frame from the other charts. Just remember that's a 12-hour difference on this chart. But here we are at the moment. We've got the Bollinger Bands tightening. Very good technical for us. We've got the EMA 13, the yellow line, almost maybe it's just teasing us here, we want to see a cross here, cross it over that red line, the 50% of the price range in the middle there, the average. We want to see a crossover there, and hopefully we can get a nice little upturn in the Hex price. Now, this could reasonably, in my view, go through all the way through to November in terms of accumulation phase, and maybe once we come out the other side into maybe late November, we might be able to see a real move in the Hex, and maybe a breaking that long-term downtrend as well. Now, I haven't got that shown here, but there's a big, it's way above us here. And of course, I'll probably bring it up. Maybe I'll do a separate video on that and summarize that Hex price as well. All right, so here we are, 3.2 cents. Very much accumulation phase at the moment. We've had two local bottoms here in our downtrend. And of course, that's where we're at the stage. So let's pull up some of the indicators. We've got, the sellers and the buyers, big gap. Nothing really exciting there for us from that point of view. So really moving sideways in accumulation zone. We've got the RSI down at 38. So not really doing too much, moving sideways. But here is a kind of a positive. We've got the stochastic RSI here. And of course, stochastic typically means that it takes the more recent values as weights them more heavily. And of course, this is where we are at the moment. So if we get a crossover here like this, that's kind of bullish sign. So we might get a bullish sign coming up in the next day or two. We've also got, as I say, the tightening Bollinger Bands. We get a nice cross here. We've got a couple of indicators suggesting we might move a bit higher here on the X chart, maybe in the next couple of days. So we'll keep watching that and see whether that's telling us as a guide, right? So that's pretty much it on that chart. Just want to bring that up quickly. But let's get back into this is a 12 different time frame, 12 hour time frame difference here on this Hex chart. Just remember that. And I've got it on the daily here. So real accumulation phase. Maybe this lasts all the way through to, I don't know, late November here. Maybe it starts to pick up here and we suddenly get this dramatic rise. At some stage, this chart's going to, I think, have that dramatic rise up until next rise. Obviously, if PulseChain comes out, if we get that in December, that's going to be a beautiful catalyst as well. So that could be somewhere in this sort of zone. Maybe we'll get that. So we'll be watching this pretty carefully. Definitely accumulation zone at the moment. Obviously, we are expecting that November to be a bit rocky, particularly at the beginning of November with that 75 basis points. But the fact that that's earlier in the month is kind of better for us, especially for the Hedron Hex HSI sales. That's much better news for us. So I think post November there, after we get through that 75 basis points, as long as the markets don't domino out from that, right? They already know it's coming, but it's really as I said, the retail market and property, it's really getting and corporates that have to invest that are having the issues with that, having to contend with that, and that will probably play down a further bit down the road there in terms of the economy. So we're talking about financial markets and the real world. They kind of delay the impact there. The market's much faster to respond to information as it comes. So, and then when it finds that something's going wrong in the physical world, it reacts to that as well really quickly, as we see. So that's pretty cool. We're going to keep watching this. But after that 2nd November here, maybe we have a bit of a party rally here in not only Hedron, but also the Hex, and of course, in turn, Icosa as well. We're watching that. Definitely accumulation phase. Always a good day at the moment to accumulate Hex. Now, some people say it's always a good day to accumulate Hex. I don't agree with that. There are obviously parts of the price chart that are better than others. So it is definitely a good at the moment after we had that pullback to 2.7, 2.8 cents. What's that, 95% pullback. Now we're in a pretty good range, right? After having a big bull run, it's a pretty good range to accumulate. And of course, once again, not investment advice. You must do your own due diligence. But of course, you can check out hex.com in the video description. So let's jump over to Hedron. This is one of my two probable plays. As you guys know, I've got two probable plays and a speculative play. And of course, Hedron at the moment is already moving. Let's have a look at this beautiful thing. It looks pretty crazy. This is really, look at this chart, man. The uptrend is intact. And of course, we are moving closer to the Hedron Hex HSI auctions. We have Maximus, of course, which we're going to talk about. So let's get into that in a second. But this is the chart at the moment. We've got the price at 503907. So we're just going to say, we're going to drop off the zeros and just say 3,900. And that is where we are. US cents, of course, US cents there. So 503900 is US cents there. We have a all-time high. Let's pull that up here. You can see that in the orange bar at the top here. And that's around about, hopefully I haven't made it too unstraight there. Let me have a look there. It's a little bit straight. Let me make sure that that is straight. That's pretty much it. That's our previous all-time high. This launch, remember the 26th of February, we got that 12x increase. Look at that 12x increase there. And of course, we enjoyed that on this channel. We were covering that and made a lot of people made good money on that one. And of course, down it went, got retraced. Look how far down it went. OMG. And of course, went down to 175. 175. It was all the way up the top here. And it was all the way, where was it at to? It was up at 7272. Went all the way down to 175. Can you believe it? My goodness. Anyway, some people on this channel picked it up. At least 2 people that I know of picked it up. And of course, down here, when it got to 175, about the 18th of June, and away it went after that. Of course, we got the news of Icosa and all that playing out, and away it went. And of course, here we got this nice uptrend at the moment. And the next big thing, of course, is these huge HSI Hex stakes up for auction. I think there's going to be about 2,500 on the 13th of November. It's the 14th here in good old Kiwi land in Australia. And of course, and probably in Samoa. Don't forget the Pacific Islands there. They're there too. So pretty cool. That's pretty much how we're going at the stage. Looking pretty good in my view. And I've got higher lows here. Obviously a lower low, but of course, we've got a nice little triangle here. And of course, moving forward. Now, obviously, the 13th is not too far away. If you think about on this timeline, here's the 13th here. So that's not too far away at all. And of course, this has moved a little bit earlier than I expected because of the Poly Maximus. So that's 24 days to go. We have got the Fed interest rate rises. That's here in the middle, almost in the middle, just past the middle there. So we'll have a bit of volatility in the markets around here, is my guess. But of course, this Hedron may just keep powering up. May just ignore what we know is coming. And of course, if it came out to be 50 basis points, man, this chart could do something fun, just like the rest of crypto. But at the moment, that's kind of where we're at the stage. Obviously, one of my 2 probable plays. Obviously, not certainty, right? Not certainty, just probable. And of course, that's where we are. So what's a probability? Maybe a two-thirds there chance of being right. And of course, so far, so good. So we'll be watching this pretty closely. What's it going to be? About 2,500 Hex HSIs on the 13th. Maybe a couple more thousand in the weeks following. Obviously, there's going to be some every day, but really that first fortnight from the 13th is going to be what I call the big fortnight payday. Now, that means a big Hedron burning, a big Icosa inflation, big Icosa rewards to those staking Hedron, Icosa, and got Watsas. I think we'll see quite a bit of Watsa NFTs burned. That's my feeling, that people will try to capture the yield, especially on an inflation event. That's going to be a big reward. And we'll get that typical type of sell-off afterwards. So this happens all the time in crypto, these sell-offs. So people get, oh, my God, I told you about this project, it's sell-off. And well, it happens all the time. So we already know all that stuff, right? So, but then after that, people then can accumulate and it can have another rise after that. So that's kind of where I feel that will go. So at the moment, we're at 3,900. And of course, we actually moved higher earlier back here in the 2nd of October when the Maximus team announced their new product, which was Poly Maximus. And this was following on the heels of their super successful Maximus Perpetuals and the team DAO, which is still playing out, right? So that's still playing out. Man, it's exciting. So we're going to quickly have a look at the Poly Maximus team. And we can see that we had some cool updates. Now, this one was, I read this the other day, but it's such a cool one. Golki says, based on my conversation with some big Hedron holders and excitement from our community, Poly Maximus could be our biggest launch yet. Well, I thought Maximus was super successful. I thought that the Perpetuals and team was just absolutely out of this planet, off this planet. And now we've got Poly Maximus. These guys are absolutely killing it out there, innovating on top of Hex contracts, and of course now getting involved with the Hedron Icosa Dapp as well. So I like that. And of course, here we had a few more things here. The past 10 months on the 19th, they said, have been incredible experience with the exciting launch and rapid expansion of the Maximus DAO economy. Here is a look back on everything that happened. If you haven't been with us on this journey for the past 10 months, thank you for your support and for being part of this movement. We're just getting started. And that's right. This team is going to going to continue to innovate pretty amazingly. And you guys are part of the best ecosystem on the planet. Look at all these world-class developers that we've got doing world-class stuff in crypto. And a lot of stuff in crypto is just copy and paste. But we are sitting amongst the innovators. We've got a whole ton of awesome innovators, and it's so exciting. So that's pretty cool. You can check all that out. Now, on 23 hours ago, they said Poly Maximus is designed to be extremely easy to use. I did do a video covering the white paper. If you haven't checked that out on this channel, covering Poly Maximus the other day. And so, yeah, mint Poly to one-to-one to Hedron. That's pretty easy. Earn trustless yield every day, a trade anytime, and redeem Hex, Hedron, and Icosa. And that is Poly Maximus in a nutshell. So if you want to get the simplest version, that is as simple as you get. So that is minting phase is going to come up. I suspect it's going to be early November. Obviously, it's got to be out before the 13th. So they'll have probably a pretty short window, maybe a week, to mint that in Poly, something like that. And so look forward to that announcement we'll be covering on this channel. So if you've got Hedron, you're a small player in Hedron, you could pull into this and get the opportunity to get access to Hex HSIs with a higher value. So it really is a win for you. What should be the goal of Hedron pulled on Poly? So people, they're asking feedback as well around things like that. So it's pretty exciting. And of course, lots of stuff there. Mel Hexkin says, damn, son, the Poly game theory incentive is deep. It is deep there. So pretty cool. 14 hours ago, let me make sure every small staker knows about Poly. And that's really part of it. The communication here is that you're hearing about it. So pretty cool. Daniel said 50 to 75 trillion Hedron should be possible, says Daniel. Maybe not every small Hex staker knows about the opportunity to put his free Hedron and Poly. That's pretty funny with that number. But anyway, we'll move on. So that's pretty funny there. We got Fex Lab there. If anyone can guess the closest to total amount of Hedron that will be pulled into Maximus Poly, I'll give away one What's an NFT to the winner. So that's pretty cool. You got the community really getting involved there. And of course, 3 hours ago, the developer Dipcatcher went live there working on the Poly contract and answering questions. And of course, he's got user voted budgeting in there. And he's been doing the coding and everything every day. And of course, that's exciting to see. So we're expecting a early November launch, maybe just whenever they've got the orders through and the UI's all done. They're going to be doing all that. So pretty exciting stuff from there. We'll keep you posted on the Maximus. So that's kind of that for the Hedron. And looking pretty good. Now, the Hex of the Icosa at the moment, pretty much tied to the HSI buybacks from the Icosa contract, and that's currently at $1.08. We've seen a little bit of volatility the last couple of days there too. That's pretty much it. Now, we've got the perpetuals at the moment. We've got the Hex base is at 0.099 on the Hex versus base. Remember, base is the 1 year perpetual. And, of course, that Hex is at a discount. I would expect to see that. That means you bring a bit of the yield forward. The trio, which is the 3 year one, we'll just have a look at the premium there. We can see that's at 0.992, so it's the same as the base, which is 1 year. And of course, it just rallied from 9.4, which is kind of weird, to be honest. So really, it probably should have been closer to 9.4, but that's what it is at the moment, 9.9. The market will do what it's going to do. The lucky, of course, the 7 year perpetual. Let's have a look at that. Is at 1.0033. Now, that just seems nonsensical, but that's what the market's saying at the moment. 0.11. It is a long time away, but still, it's weird that the premium's not really being priced there. Now, I don't know what the liquidity of each of these pools are. I'm just looking at the chart itself, so you'd have to go to that next level and look at liquidity. Now, the Decimus one, the 10-year one, let's have a look at that and see where this is kind of sensible. 1-to-1 as well. So I don't know what the liquidity in this pool is. But that's pretty crazy. And I'm not sure if they've set up other pools as well. So this is the Hecky debt ratio there. Some crazy stuff there, those long-term ones. Let's see how long that stays for. Interesting than what the market's doing at the moment. So that's pretty much it. And so we're going to scroll down. That is pretty much the Hex ecosystems. We will get to the Hex daily stats later on and the staking ladders coming up. Actually, let's talk about this Hex staking ladders now. This is the global staking ladder. So let's get into that. And we're just going to go to the end of the year, to be honest. And have a look at that. This is our stakes, global stakes to the end. So we've got this one on the 24th. We've got 70. Something's wrong with this. What have I done here? Something looks a bit awry on this one. 24. Something's just not quite right with these stakes here. What the heck? I don't know. Something's not right with there. I'm going to jump out of there. That just didn't make any sense with those. So maybe something's gone wrong there. Not sure. All right. So cool. Let us jump back to the charts. We're going to look at the airdrops and free claims now. So we've got Pulse Dodge Coin. Obviously, this is related to Pulse Bitcoin. It's currently at $5.86. It's down 20% there. So we had a bit of selling in today. Had a nice little pump yesterday. a bit of selling in at the moment at $5.86. Kind of weird, right? Because PulseBitcoin is launching. But this is my other probable play at the moment. We've still got quite a bit of time to go, 20 hours to go. So we'll be watching this pretty closely. Now, the other thing, of course, is we've got the announcements on PulseBitcoin. Now, Pulse Dogecoin is the original one that was given out 20th of April. People qualified if you had a Hex stakes, which is just one of those wonderful things about being in the Hex community, getting all these airdrops, pretty cool. And, of course, now they're launching PulseBitcoin, which is kind of trying to replace Bitcoin itself with a game mechanism. We're going to look at that in a second. We'll come back to that one. And at the moment, of course, the wait token there, most people are just waiting, but we have seen some weakness in this one, finally breaking down really below half a penny. We're sitting, pretty much half a penny. It really has broken down a bit there, down at 0.0044. There's probably only about 130 million minted, around about 1.2, 1.3 billion is accrued, something like that. And so most people are just waiting till the Pulse chain launches. It's pretty much there. We also have on the airdrop free claim here, the Zen. Zen just pulling back here a little bit, actually been holding up, as you can see. Let's have a quick look at there. You can see it's been holding up actually above the 0003 line. It's currently at quadruple 03. It's currently at quadruple 02992, and just weakening there a little bit there at the moment. The BZen on the BSC. Now, obviously, Zen is now on 7 different chains. That's a bit of a strategy, right? And, of course, most of the inflation is in the first 4 years. And then, of course, by the time you get to year 8, it's very small. So basically now you could mint on the ETH chain something like 60,000 a day. But, of course, in 8 years, it's going to be like 10 a day. It's kind of got that sort of process there with the log function. Now, obviously, on the BSC chain, it's had a very different profile. Look at this craziness over on BSC. It's currently at 502619 and a pretty crazy price there, despite all the minting there. So this is the cheaper fee, right? The cheaper fee, I guess. But that's some crazy stuff there on that chart. So that's pretty much there on the Zen. Let's jump over to Discord. If you want to see all the airdrops coming up, we want to look at that. So we're going to go, if you jump into Discord, the link's in the video description. You can join up with us. And, of course, down on Pulse Chain projects, you'll see the airdrops free claims. And, of course, we're going to quickly look on that. I'm going to try and keep this list up to date so people benefit from these and don't miss out. You don't want people missing out. So the weight free claim, we just talked about that with the price chart, just under half a penny. Now, it is on until Pulse Chain launches, and there's 8 sacrifice sets to qualify. So 8 different, if you sacrifice for 8 different things like Pulse and PulseX and liquid loans, you'd be able to qualify for that. All the links are here, of course. R8 Max, which is another YouTuber in the Pulse Chain Hex space, did a video on how to claim your weight, so you can check that out. The Paul Pleb there is coming up, so that's launching soon, and that's really for the small players. Like if you consider yourself a small player in crypto or new to crypto, that's one of those. But you've got to check out what the qualifying criteria is there on the website and all that sort of stuff. But the link is there, just to let you know. And of course, the Kira there airdrops coming up 11th of November 2022 on ETH. It's going to be launching on ETH. But a copy on a Pulse chain. So I think understand that the airdrop only applies to Pulse chain at this stage. So we'll see what that means. Have to double check that. If you're sacrificing Pulse chain or PulseX, then you're going to get those numbers. So total would be 22 Kira there. And of course, Texan Token, that is announced a huge airdrop there. PLSX or Hex stake on July the 4th. And you'll be able to free claim 1 million Texan tokens, I should say. Now, obviously, if you've done multiple sacrifices, which many people did on this channel, getting your old Genesis addresses where you just sacrifice just little amounts, then you'll be able to get a lot of, especially across a lot of wallets, you'll be able to get quite a bit of Texan token there from the sounds of it with multiple claims. So that's the way it goes. So that's why we say do Genesis wallets, folks, when you have these sacrifices on, if you can, of course, with throw a few dollars on a new wallet, new account, I should say. Yeah, party on. So that's pretty much the free claims. Hope you guys, that is offering a little bit of a value add there and so forth. So cool. That is pretty much the airdrops and free claims. Now we're going to get into PulseBitcoin, and then we're going to come back to BNB Pot for an update. We're also going to look at, I think I covered Maximus, so that's cool. We're going to get into the main topic, which is really the PulseBitcoin. Before we do that, of course, let's get into the chat and catch up with many of the comments. I'm sure a lot of people have arrived. So let me just scroll back up here. Just got to make sure I'm not too far behind. I think I got up to Hex Pineapple with the Hex. I think that was pretty nice. What else have we got? We got Brian says, had to switch to live chat, says Brian. Yeah, I have to switch to the live chat too. Let me have a look at that. Bam. Yeah, that changes things around a little bit there. We've got Lies Beneath in the house, as always, bringing the alpha for us. Hello, how are you today? Hello, all. Hex, EHEX, PLS, and PLX for the 100% there, Lies Beneath. And Chris says, I'm trying for the first time, providing for LP on Uniswap V3. He says, my position is currently earning fees. I'm trying to learn. That's good before Pulsechain launches, so I can use whichever LP, says Christian. Nice work there. Christian says, it's not much, but I'm playing a few free coins I got on Ether. Nice play there, Christian. What else there? Let's jump through some of those. We got wallets in the house there. PLSD will be worth $20 tomorrow, says Wallet. Super bullish on that one. So it is one of my 2 probable plays. I don't know exactly what the price is going to do. I kind of feel like, hey, look, we're just having a bit of selling at the moment, but of course it can jump up pretty quickly. So we'll be watching that pretty closely. I did have, we could possibly tackle the all-time high of $9.53. If we break the 10, of course, 13 to 14 is play. I have seen people modeling out $17, $18. I don't know if we'll get to that straight away. I remember we'll talk about this product on PulseBitcoin. You can decide for yourself what you think might happen there. Christian says, keep buying Hex. Yes, definitely accumulation phase on that. Keep buying. We got a few others in there as well. Kirby, PLSD is looking really good. Up 20x versus Hex since launch this Kirby. Cup and handle for Hedron. Bullish, says Brennan. Yeah, that is bullish, isn't it? So just coming back to Hedron here, and that is bullish, and it's one of my 2 probable plays at the moment. Now, the difference with Hedron, there's a lot of volume in Hedron. So that's a very important bit. It's one thing looking at a chart, but you must think about how much liquidity is, especially how much liquidity is versus what you're buying in terms of tradability, and also the momentum in the chart as well. So there's a lot of things to think about in terms of what you're looking at. So, yeah, good observation, though, there from Brennan. Sandy Beach in the house. Good to see Sandy Beach. Hi, Hex Token, everybody. Always a pleasure. One of our awesome moderators and community members. And I got a little story for Sandy, but we'll talk about that another time. A super bullish for, what is that? Ploy? What's Ploy? Poly. You mean Poly? Yeah, Poly Maximus. Yeah, super bullish for the Poly Maximus. Sandy says, I'm so late. I have to rewatch the beginning, says Sandy. Well, it's going to take a while for Sandy to catch up to that then. Definitely smash the likes if you can. Smash those likes, folks, and hit the subscribe button if you want as well. This actually, where is the channel at this moment? We're currently at 6,165. If you're new to the channel, definitely subscribe and smash that like button. Boop, boop, says Sandy. Definitely. Let's have a look here. We've got other few things. We've got Katie in the house here. Hey, Katie, good to see you. One of our awesome moderators as well. Let's jump up here. Brian says, anybody watching the BNB jackpot game? Snipers entering late with large amounts to get the win, but they win less than they ended with. Sometimes they do, Brian. We'll talk about that a bit later. And, of course, some of them are playing for the big BNB 1000 participation. I've seen a lot of them playing that game for that, but they do risk their initial capital, but still. PZN Distribution Network says Dan Dog Crypto. Participation should look into Pulse Zen. Here, the wealth builder. They're from Dan. And, of course, Conrad Zen was on Crypto Heartbeat. If you haven't checked it out, watch that short interview there. Brian, I was watching it earlier today and did see that one game. He lost, says Sandy Beach. There have been some losers and winners there. Obviously, we're talking about staking on this channel. If you want to stake, it's a great passive income with the world's first gamifications just beyond. Now, it's only day one, so we'll talk about that a bit later. Tell me, says Sandy Beach. Tell me. Yeah, well, I'll tell you in the Discord there, Sandy. Just a little funny thing. Just you'll understand what I mean when I tell you. We have great moderators and admins, I must say, says Sandy Beach. That is true. Kung Fu Tech Fu says, where's a good place to stake Hedron USDC? Stake Hedron? Well, you can do it on the Dapp there. So if you want to, we got all the stuff in the Discord. You can go to join our Discord in the link in the video description. I think you're already in there, Kung Tech Fu, but if you're not, use the links there. Just go up to the top and scroll all the way up to the Hex derivatives. So we've got all the answers there. I might actually split out some of these. I just don't want to make too many groups. We've got the Hedron, the Hex derivatives. We've got the Hedron links Icosa. So you can use the Icosa Dapp there. So Icosa Pro, you can do it on there, and that will bring you up the Dapp, and you can use that. We've obviously got the Maximus contracts there as well. So pretty cool. We've got everything in those links. They're pretty cool. These links are mostly Hex Pulsechain and Hex derivatives like Maximus and Icosa. So that's what these links are. If you're looking for Pulsechain projects, we've got most of the Pulsechain projects in here. So down on the Pulsechain, PulseChain project. Got all the list of all the PulseChain projects in here. So you can check that out if you're after PulseChain, if you're after Hex, and I guess the parent PulseChain, then get into the useful links there. All right, cool. Let me jump back. We're going to talk about this eventually. All right, so here we are. Yeah, join Discord. The link is in the chat. Nice one, Brian. Brian's one of our 2 community leads and amazing person. So we appreciate it. All right, let's get into it. The Dapp and smart contract. This is PulseBitcoin. Woohoo! I'm going to paste the link in the chat there. And of course, what will this cause? Will this be the catalyst for a big move in Pulse Dogecoin? You can decide, but it's definitely one of my probable plays at the moment, and we will see whether it plays out. Now, remember, nothing is certain. It's just a probable play. All right, let's get into it. So we got the future of Bitcoin is here. PulseBitcoin, the faster, more secure, non-polluting, energy-efficient, highly scalable, DeFi-compatible Bitcoin. And, of course, start mining. Now, you can click the start mining button, but you might be disappointed because it's not launched yet. Yes, it's 19 hours and 41 minutes to go. And that's why I said 20 hours, because I started the live stream around about this time. And it's got 19 hours and 41 minutes to go until the Dapp and smart contract launch. It's going to be pretty cool. This is a temporary page to let you know that the official Dapp, PulseBitcoin.app, and the smart contracts are not yet available. The Dapp and contract will, however, be available starting on October the 20th, 2022 at 8 p.m. UTC time. And that is pretty much it. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. And, of course, do not buy anything right now claiming to be Pulse Bitcoin. PLSB will be the ticker, or ASIC token, ASIC there. You have been warned. So there is no trading at the moment, folks. Nothing is out there. If you see anything, it's a scammer trying to scam you. So just remember that. So this is on the ETH chain, remember, the Ethereum chain. We have 19 hours and 41 minutes to go until this Dapp launches. Just remember that. It's very important. Don't get scammed. So that's pretty cool. Let's us jump back, though, to the main page. This is the part here. So it's going to be pretty good. I really, this developer really is a really good innovator in the space. So pretty cool. Now, obviously, there's a lot of content in here. So I'm going to try and simplify it. Let's jump through some of this. There's a lot of content, so I'm not going to do a website read-through. You guys will fall asleep in any case. But there's some of the cool website. We're just going to scroll through that. Now, here's probably a key outcome. Let's compare the coin supply. Bitcoin, 21 million. Pulse Bitcoin, 21 million. I like the play on that. That is pretty cool. We can see that Pulse Bitcoin is just as scarce as Bitcoin will ever be. So that's pretty cool. Obviously, there's, was it 100 billion decimal Satoshis on one side. And the other one, what the other one's called, it's not Satoshi, maybe it's called PB Satoshi, I don't know. Notice how Bitcoin points down while the Pulse Bitcoin points up and to the right there as well. So that's pretty funny. Halving cycles, of course. Bitcoin has halving cycles. This is going to have, that's a Bitcoin formula. And of course, here is the Pulse Bitcoin formula there. So nice one. 21 million coins. 21 million coins. It makes a lot of sense to me. And a very cool Bitcoin halving cycle every 4 years. Pulse Bitcoin halving cycle a few months to a few years. Don't you love the play on this? I think this is really catchy. So it's pretty cool. A few months, for a few years. Some after the 32 halving cycles. So cool. That's pretty cool. We got the breakdown too. So here's the breakdown for Bitcoin, and there is the breakdown for Pulse Bitcoin there. So cool. So that's kind of school stuff. We see the halvings on Bitcoin. So you've got the different halvings. The next one, the last one we had was May 2020. The reward rate for the miner, they earn Bitcoin rewards. And of course, they get 6.25 Bitcoin for every block, which is pretty crazy. And of course, 1.3 million Bitcoin mined during the halving cycle. And of course, the running total there currently 19,687,000 Bitcoin. And that's 83, almost 84% of the supply, expected supply of Bitcoin. Now, obviously, the fourth halving there expected in 2024. It's going to halve from 6.25 Bitcoin a block to a 3.125 for a block. Remember, a blockchain is made up of blocks, and those blocks have transactions. So that's what we were talking about there. That's really for new people. We have a blockchain with blocks in it, and it's they all have different names. There's transactions, each of those. Those are confirmed by a miner on the Bitcoin network. And of course, they get rewarded for that with the big Bitcoin miner reward, just for a background there. So we're expecting that to half. Of course, only 656,000 Bitcoin will come into market by that time. That will get us to 20,343,000. Then the next halving is in 2028. and that's going to get down to 1.56 Bitcoin per block, and that will get us down to 328,000, so on. The last block, though, look at this, and Bitcoin is expected in 2,136. That's actually changed from when I first came into crypto. It looks a little bit different, that number. And of course, there we are. And look at the block reward. It's going to be a fraction, going to be decimal places there. Also 7 decimals places and then 1. So a crazy number. The Bitcoin, of course, is going to be pretty slightly. We'll get up to that 21 million Bitcoin by that time. That's a long time, but most of it's coming out well before that. Look, by the time we get up to this period, we'll have 98.4% come out. So by 2028 or so. So that's pretty cool. Bitcoin, the Pulse Bitcoin is going to obviously mirroring the Bitcoin, hence the name Pulse Bitcoin. But they're going to be having a halving in every couple of months. So the first, obviously, we've got the launch in October, which is now, and then the halving, and we've got going to get expected time frame coming up. But basically, you got the mining fee rate there, 0.25. It's going to half folks to 0.125. So the reward of doing the mining is going to be halved in terms of the, I guess, the blocks there. And of course, down it goes 0.03, etc. So it's pretty crazy stuff there. And of course, the mining reward weight 7.5 down to 3.75. So earlier pays better. Earlier pays better for this project. And of course, the Pulse Bitcoin mine, 10.5 million is going to be in the first one, and it goes down, as you can see. So pretty crazy every couple of months from the looks of it. Running total of Pulse Bitcoin mine, 10.5 million. So it has a lot of inflation up the front there. And of course, the percentage mine, 50%. So you want to be in the early games as well. If you are deciding to go into this, of course, nothing on this review is investment advice. You need to think about it for yourself. So that's pretty cool. And we can see that by the time we get down to the fourth halving, then we're going to be up to about 96, 98, 98%. The fifth halving will be about 98% of the new token there. The ASIC will be mined. So the new token is ASIC there. That's going to be pretty much what you're earning. So that's kind of cool on that. I thought I'd go through some of that. This is kind of this is how it's going to work simplified. So basically, users wallet there. You're going to use that to mine Pulse Bitcoin, 30-day lock and a 30-day unlock there. You can withdraw from the contract and mint your Pulse Bitcoin, and mining fee as well will get burned. So there will be a mining fee, just like there is, and of course that will be burned because that reflects kind of electricity and things like that, and miner stuff for the Bitcoin miner. So there's lots of cool stuff here. I'm not going to go through that. I just want to go through some of the charts here. Obviously, it's going to be code is audited, so the Bitcoin has had 0 audit codes, but the Pulse Bitcoin smart contract audit has been audited by Certec, so that audit has been done. So pretty cool, and yeah, exciting stuff. So it's got all the stuff we need. We got obviously network scalability and adoption scalability. Obviously, you want people going to adopt it, and of course, the nature leads potential adoption by pressure away from Bitcoin onto other networks that offer more flexibility. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, so it's got all that stuff playing, so pretty nice. It's obviously environmentally friendly because it's all done by code rather than physical machines using electricity from that point of view, like in terms of a large scale. So pretty cool. So that is some of the cool stuff there, and I just wanted to go back into, I think there's a chart that I wanted to look at. Now there is a question here: how to mine Pulse Bitcoin, how to get an ASIC token, etc. So we're going to look at that. So how do you mine? Obviously, you can. This is optional, of course, for the first 30 days. You can transform PLSD into ASIC there. So get your hands on some Pulse Dogecoin, and of course, we talked about that in the price chart. We go to the airdrop free claim, and we can see that at the moment. Let's just wait for this to render. Fortunately, there's people getting a bit of an entry here, and yeah, with this a little bit of red candle, a bit of counterintuitive at the moment. The price, but $5.77 has been going over $6 and down here at the moment. And of course, we've got 20 hours to go to the launch. Now, this is what happens is that this token, if people go to mint, of course, this token's going to get burned. So there's 6 million in supply at the moment for PLSD. And of course, this is going to end up getting burned, right? So get your hands on some Pulse Dogecoin and transfer them into the application-specific internet currency called ASIC there. So obviously, in Bitcoin, people use ASIC miners, physical computers to do this, and of course to confirm the blocks, to do validation. But here, of course, you're going to be actually you're going to have to swap pretty much your PLSD for the application-specific internet currency. That's what you're going to get, and of course, that's pretty much where it goes. So during the first 30 days, the ASIC token is only brought into existence by transforming the PLSD into ASIC tokens. So that's very important. So the only way that ASIC supply is going to start is by people using their PLSD. And this is because the ATMs cannot be redeemed during this time. And that's the other two. So there's two things launching at the moment. There's this ASIC and there's these ATMs. The ATMs are these NFTs. They're a bit like the What's a NFT. It's a bit like that. So if they want to think about like that, it's print like that. So cool, we got this, but you will need ASIC there for mining. If you want to mine the PulseBitcoin, you're going to need the ASIC token there to do that. So if you think like that, so there's two things happening. The ASIC token to use for mining, and of course the ATMs, which are an NFT that you'll be able to do, a bit like the What's a pool there. This is because, but the What's a ATMs cannot be redeemed during this time. So the only way to get it within the first 30 days is to do this transform. Transformation is only available during the first 60 days. The transform rate is set at a 1-to-5 ratio. So 1 Pulse Dodge coin equals 5 ASICs. And of course, you need ASICs to do that. So I don't know what this button does, but yeah, just taking this back to the Dapp. So there's 19.5 hours to go for that. Now, the second part, so there's two parts. The first part is this. And of course, is the only way to get the ASIC token. The second part, of course, the Action Token Miner. So this is the second product, which is an NFT here. During the 30 days, you have the option to mint ASIC token miners, NFTs from PulseBitcoin smart contract. Creating an ATM NFT is from the smart contract requires you to choose a selection of various ERC20s. So you just like the What's how you could use different currencies to get the What's NFT, you can do that here to get the ATM NFTs. You can use different currencies. You don't just need Pulse Dogecoin for that. 1 USD TWAP or time weighted average value equals 1 point. All right. So TWAP means time weighted average price, and of course $1 equivalent will get you 1 point. You can redeem these points at any time after the 30 days for ASIC tokens. So that's what you do there. So it might play in your favor. And of course, keep in mind, the more halvings that occur, the more ASIC tokens you will receive per point upon redemption. It's a bit like, in the What's, if you're the last person standing, you get more and more and more, right? The more people that burn their NFTs, the more you get. On this case, it's a little different. The longer you have it during the halvings, the more ASIC tokens you receive per point upon redemption. So there's a little bit of a play there. Obviously, people will be looking at the market price of ASIC and things like that. So interesting stuff there. Now you can create button there. So those are the two things at the moment. There is this token, which is the ASIC token. You can see it's got a little minus symbol on there. And then, of course, there is the ASIC token miner, which is an NFT that's going to earn you ASIC tokens. But there won't be ASIC tokens. The only ASIC tokens coming on the market first 30 days will be from this transform to start off with. And you need ASIC token. So if you get ASIC token, get your hands on some ASIC by purchasing ASIC token through the Uniswap or other exchanges. That's the other way you can do it, is by market buying. So we'll see how that goes. Now, obviously, once you've got ASIC, you can then go mine yourself some Pulse Bitcoin. So that's pretty much how it's going to work. Navigate to the Pulse Bitcoin mining site, such as Pulse Bitcoin app. From here, you can see select how much ASIC you want to mine, start mining, and then obviously the site's going to be up there. So pretty cool. Once ASIC has been deposited into the Bitcoin mining contract, it is now hard locked for 30 days. Okay, be aware that you cannot withdraw your ASIC tokens until at least the 30-day mining period has been completed. Once the 30-day mining period is complete, you then have to have the following 30 days to end the miner withdrawal both your ASIC tokens and Pulse Bitcoin from the contract. All right, so that's pretty cool. Basically, just click the end button once the 30-day mining period is completed. However, yes, you just have to wait 30 days. Yep, that's right. At the end miner, after 30 days, you can now unlock, withdraw your ASIC tokens, and mint your Pulse Bitcoin. PLSB will be the token ticker by navigating back to the previously used Pulse Bitcoin mining site and click on the end mining button. This will return your deposit ASIC tokens minus the mining fee paid in ASIC tokens, as well as minting your reward Pulse Bitcoin. If 61 days pass from the moment you start a miner and you have not ended that miner, you will incur a penalty. That's very fundamental. You don't want to get penalized at all. And of course, there are penalties there. Let's quickly have a look at the penalties there. So cool. To clarify 3 things about the good accounting, there's a good accounting function as well. So just taking that into account. I'm just trying to see whether there's actually a withdrawal here. Here's a nice chart. So the mining process. So if you are too late withdrawing, so the first, of course, you're going to add your ASICs. How do you get ASICs? You're going to have to swap over your Pulse Dogecoin tokens, which are currently trading on the market. As we can see, they're currently $5.86 each. There's 6 million of these, remember? So these are going to reduce the supply of Pulse Dogecoin. presumably that's going to lift the price fundamentally. Obviously, the market will decide. Just remember that. So we're playing probability here with the burn versus the market price. So just remember that. And, of course, the launch of the Dapp there, to take that into account. So the mining process, first 30 days, you can select your miner. The mining process begins when a user starts a mining using one or more ASIC tokens. So you need at least one to start. This is submitted to the PulseBitcoin miner contract and can be referred to as the mining lock or miner. This initiates a 30-day period where the user submitted ASIC tokens are temporarily unable to be withdrawn from the contract until day 31. At any point, a user can have any number and size of PulseBitcoin miners occurring simultaneously. So to clarify, a user is not limited to just one single miner lock. So you can have multiple. Now, obviously, you have a 30-day in mining fee. Once a user's miner has been mining locked for 31 days, any point past this up till day 60, the user must end their miner and receive their rewards. Okay, so you're going to get your ASIC back and your PulseBitcoin reward, as well as received any deposit ASIC there, minus a mining fee. There is a mining fee for your ASIC. Just remember that when you put that into the miner. As soon as a user has ended their mining lock, thus receiving their reward and receiving back their deposit ASIC tokens, users can then begin a new mining lock and repeat the process again to start mining even more PulseBitcoin. So that's a 30-day period. After that, of course, a penalty occurs when the user's miner has not been ended within day 31 to 60. So that's a pretty reasonable time frame. After 60 days, the PulseBitcoin mining reward is forfeited, and now anyone can run the good accounting function. The good accounting function is the process that ends a specific expired miner. The address that calls this function will receive 50% of the mining ASIC and remain 50% as return. That's pretty nice, actually. But hopefully, there won't be too many of that happening, right? So that's pretty much it. So that is the timeline there. That is pretty cool. Congratulations, you have now mined PulseBitcoin. Well, not quite, because it hasn't launched yet, but we're getting there. So that is some of the highlights there. There are lots of other stuff in here, of course, with details. There's the white paper as well, which has an online version where you can just tap through that. And, of course, you can just tap through all those pages on the actual white paper, so you can check through that. I'm not going to go through that, I don't think. Actually, I think there was one chart in here I might want to talk about. I only briefly looked through this one. We've covered a lot of that stuff. Yeah, we covered a lot of that. We covered the fact that it has an audit as well. I think that's this page is kind of cool. So I think that is nice there. So yeah, you can, this is basically an overview of the whole process. So basically, you can buy ASIC on Uniswap. You can transform Pulse Dogecoin to ASIC, or you can get an ATM NFT. And of course, the longer you hold it, you're going to get more and more ASICs there. But it's going to go through halvings, right? The halvings for PulseBitcoin. And of course, redeem the ATM, mint the NFT, and get the ASIC. So pretty much that. Kind of similar to the Wats's, but different. It's got a time protocol in it. As opposed to, last man standing protocol, I guess, is the way you might want to look at that. So, yeah, once you get ASIC, of course, if you get ASIC any of these three ways, you can then put it into the mining contract and become a PulseBitcoin miner. And, of course, you get PulseBitcoin out the end there. And, of course, there will only ever be 21 million of the PulseBitcoin, just like in Bitcoin. So, that's pretty cool. So, that was a cool chart there summarizing. I think that was kind of the main one I want to watch there. Yes. The other thing, of course, is the transform. This chart here shows it pretty well. When people do decide in the first 30 days to get ASIC and use PLSD, they'll put it in a smart contract. It'll transfer to the wallet. The ASIC, you'll get ASIC token in your wallet, but all the PLSD is getting burned. So what could this do for this price here? We will see. We'll find out. The market will decide. But, it's a probable play, isn't it? A probable play. So let's see. So I think that was it on the charts. Yeah, we covered that chart. That's pretty much it. So that's the white paper. And so there's lots of other cool stuff in here. Let me just delete. There's a message to the community, PulseBitcoin earning yield. So let's have a look at the yield there. And then we'll have a look at that message as well. Stay tuned. I want to earn yield on your PulseBitcoin. Stay tuned. Okay, so that's not quite up yet there. I'm sure that will get up there eventually. And message to the community. Let's have a look at this. It's a good place to round up this. PulseBitcoin, why mine, hold, or value Bitcoin at all? That's a good question. Ask any normal person to name you a cryptocurrency they've heard of. They say Bitcoin, right? You ask them again for another, and will they likely tell you Dogecoin? I'll be surprised if they can name any others. This is because Bitcoin is everywhere, Dogecoin is everywhere, and Hex is everywhere. Of course, they should have forgot the Hex part. What happened to the Hex? Yeah, the Hex on there. Anyway, so they are part of today's culture. For PulseChain to gain a global adoption, we must offer products regularly Cheers, everybody. Every day, people are already familiar with different narratives work for different people. Fact is that some people do not like Hex or locking up their money for years at a time, but many do. Many do. We've got heaps, 110,000 to do. So just remember that. That's okay because we offer other projects, and that's true. There's other products and other offerings for people. I have no problem with that. If our goal is to bring global adoption to a new chain, what better way to do so than making better versions of what most people already have familiar with? That is one way of innovating, that's for sure. So Bitcoin's lifetime ROI, and of course, Bitcoin's price went from less than $1 to 69,000. Bitcoin even takes even 1% of Bitcoin's 400 billion market cap. That is a value of $4 billion for PulseBitcoin. PulseBitcoin is designed to overtake Bitcoin, and of course, you can see the price there of a Bitcoin moving up there. This chart just looked familiar, this price chart. Let me just minimize it one more time. Not sure if I've got enough screen for that chart. Let's go up a bit higher there. For final thoughts here, it is important that a better Bitcoin be created by the Hex and Pulsechain community so we can adopt, modify, and lead the Bitcoin narrative going forward. I actually like this idea. I think that's a good idea, actually. It is also important that you, the person reading this, that's me and you guys, because indirectly, support the project because it has been created for the good of the crypto community and the world. Completely organic, grassroots, and aims to be a huge part of the Ethereum and Pulsechain ecosystems. So job well done. And from my view, I think he's done a great job of this, and I was expecting it to be pretty good. Now, there will be buy Pulse Dogecoin, Pi ASIC miners, and buy Pulsecoin. This will go live in about just over 19 hours. And, of course, there'll be price charts as well. So we're waiting for that. I don't think they go anywhere at the moment. No, they don't go anywhere at the moment. Let's see if the Pulse Dogecoin goes anywhere. Yes, it does. It goes to Deck Screener, which is the chart I was looking at. So that's cool. So there is some of that. They'll all be working once it goes live. And, of course, we know that it's going to be going live pretty soon. Let's go to the ASIC miner there. That is it. So cool. And if you want to click start mining, 19 hours and 21 minutes to go, folks. Let's have a look at the Twitter. And, of course, 10 hours ago, the official Pulse Bitcoin white website and white paper is now available. And, of course, we just went through it. We just went through it live on this channel. And for those asking, the Dapp contract will be live tomorrow. And, of course, we know that it's 19 hours and 20 minutes away. So keep that on your, keep it on your message if you're going to get involved. Make sure you go through. I've just gone through it, but make sure you go in detail and so forth. So cool. That is pretty much the Pulse Bitcoin. Another cool innovation and branding traction there. And I like the way he's done all the maths and everything. It's pretty solid and pretty innovative. I like it a lot. So that's pretty cool. And, of course, man, it's been exciting. $5.86 for Pulse Dogecoin. Let's see what happens over the next 20 hours there. It's going to be fun. And, of course, after that, how many people will burn their Pulse Dogecoin to get their ASIC to start mining? It's going to be fun to see that play out too. So we'll be looking forward to that. All right, let's see how we go. Remember, there's only 6 million PLSD. We'll see what happens with that. But like how Maximus, Maxi had, remember for the team token, it had 92.5 million Maxi was burned. Not burned, sorry. It was redistributed to the team token, but of that, 20% was burned. So that was pretty amazing. So 20% of 92, let's remind myself there. About 18.5 million Maxi was burned that time. We've got 92 million Maxi went off the market with into the 369 reward pool. And, of course, the mystery box there. And, of course, amazing, 32% of the tokens. So let's see what happens to the Pulse Dodge. Will it get up to 30%? We will find out. It's going to be interesting. It's 30% for Maxi. Let's see how it goes. Let me know in the chat what you guys think and drop that alpha as well. So that's pretty cool. Let's get over to the chat. I'm going to get on to the next topic, of course, which will be BNB Pot. I think that's where I'm up to. Am I? No, we're going to go to Hex Daily Stats first, and we'll get to BNB Pot in a second. I think we've got the latest results. Yeah, day 1052. We're going to get onto that. Let's get into the chat and see what other comments we've got going on here. I think we've got a few people in the house, so we're going to chat up there. I think we got up to there. Let's go here. We've got Katie in the house there. Good to see Katie. Woo! Bets in crypto up and away. I like that. J-Man as well. Good to see J-Man. Bang, bang, says Vits. Hey, everybody's got their own little sayings, and Vets and Cryptos is bang, bang. I like it. It's got a nice attitude. Lots of love from Vets Crypto. Hexicans soon to be Pulsicans, says Vets and Crypto. Hopefully no inflation bug, says Vets and Crypto. That's funny. Yeah, like Bitcoin. Yeah, true. Mass adoption is underway. The journey will not be easy, but may get ugly. However, it is upon us, and we need to embrace the change. Hold on, peeps. I like that one, Vets and Crypto. Big thumbs up from BC as well in the Matrix. What else? We've got Ramon in house. It is Pulse Dodge. still claimable. No, it ended. We've got 6 million tokens. It's done now, Raymond. What out? DB says Hex is the GOAT. Certainly is the GOAT. The link is in the video description to hex.com. We're about to cover the Hex daily stats, which is pretty cool. Hex heading towards 3 years. Pretty exciting. Brennan as well says, that would be more lucrative holding PLSD or mining PLSB. That's a good question, Brennan, and you need to answer that yourself. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. We just don't know with these things. I'm cool with sacrificing into the ATM because it's already completed, says Kirby. So there's one indicator of someone that will be mining PulseBitcoin. Brennan says 21 million is still small supply, but it's not 6 million, says Brennan. That's true. We'll take time to admit, though, won't it, Brennan? And, of course, it is a branding play as well. But looks like he's done all the maths and everything correctly. He's had an audit as well from Certec. That gives you a bit of positivity. PLSD Thailand in the house there. Morning to you. I'm going to be burning 100% of my PLSD bag. Take advantage of the first 30 days, says PLSD Thailand. Wow, wow, wow. So there's another person going in. Nice one there. And that's PLSD Thailand, after all. Pretty crazy. That's the big inflation's at the beginning. So you're going to get the biggest opportunity. That makes a lot of sense there. More will be revealed today. Will the yield factor? Yeah, well, I went to that site with the yield calculator. That wasn't on there. So we will come back to that. I'll obviously be able to cover that tomorrow. By the time I cover this tomorrow, though, I guess it will be launched. It will be launched and live. So we'll cover the live action of PulseBitcoin tomorrow, and we'll get that yield factor. If I do get the yield factor out during today, I might do a short video on it, and we'll see how we go. Andrew's in the house there. Happy Thursday, everybody. Happy Thursday to you too, Andrew. We got a few more on here. Ramon says, so you have to have Pulse done to mine PulseBitcoin. You need Pulse Dogecoin. So Pulse Dogecoin is what you need. This token here, which is currently $5.90. And there must have been some seller in there for a red candle. I'm not sure what happened there. We will see. Let's get back to the Hex daily stats. Bam. And, of course, accumulate as much PLSB as possible. Remember, halving will be super quick. Yeah, there's only every couple of months, so we're going to look forward to that. QQ in the house as well. I just buy Hex. Thanks, says QQ. Yeah, definitely. Hex is a definitely accumulation play at the moment. And, of course, Katie in the house there with the breads and the ducks. Love it. That we don't have them playing today, though. We played them yesterday during the live because it was taking so long. PLSD price will rocket, says PLS Thailand. And it lies beneath. I'm not sure what you got the upwards there. I think he agrees there. Right, so cool. Let us get into Hex daily stats. Day 1052, man. Crazy. We're heading up to day 1095 because Hex's 3rd-year birthday. Once we get into a year finished that birthday, we'll be in year 4 for Hex, which is absolutely amazing. And, of course, one of the few tokens to hit do a 10,000x during the bull market. So pretty awesome. The 19th of October, 2022. And, of course, the price down just a tad there at 1.7% at 3.2 cents. Now, I've accumulated some. I don't normally talk about my portfolio, but I've been accumulating some Hex just between you and me. I've been accumulating some as well. So there's multiple plays on at the moment. I talk about the probable plays and, of course, the possible plays. And, of course, Hex is at the moment the baseline. It's the baseline accumulator, and the price is pretty good at the moment. All right, so the Hex payout there, 6.175 is the payout. Obviously, Hex is all about getting T-shares. Those are the magic sources we say in Hex. And, of course, the T-share rate there, dot day, is currently at 24,908 after that big 582 day we had only a couple of days ago. And, of course, the price to get a T-shirt at the moment, $797. Let's do some quick math on that and pretend that we're at all-time high again. We're going to use 52 cents for argument's sake. So let's take 24,908 and times it by 52 cents. So if this was the all-time high price, this would cost you just under $13,000 to get a T-shirt at the moment. And, of course, at the moment, you can get it for $797. So this is what happens with the price jumps back. T-shirts can get pretty expensive again. And the share rate, in any case, is going up, up, and up, and up, and up there. If the price starts matching the share rate, you can imagine how expensive the T-shares get there. And, of course, I expect, I'm just going to say it from my point, I expect, obviously, T-share to be worth more than a Bitcoin sooner than later. And we'll see on the next run. The next run there, we're going to have a lot of fun. So at the moment, that would be 13,000, which is not quite Bitcoin, but not getting too far. What's it, about 75%? Let me just do quick maths on here. That would be, I completely botched the math, about 75% there, 70%, something like that. I'm not sure what happened to the calculator there. Every time I do another calculation, it's almost like I actually click some other button, and away it goes. The average stake length in years, 6.67 years is the average stake length for Hex. And, of course, the annual percentage yield rate, yield, which is inflation, has a normal inflation up to 369%. The effective inflation is lower, and the emergency end stakes penalties there, 37.68% paid in Hex. Obviously, the Hex price can move around, but that is the yield in Hex, underlying Hex. We've got the liquidity in the pool, 285 million Hex at the moment. And, of course, liquidity, $10.4 million US and 1,411 ETH. Now, there are two things that move this. Obviously, people buying and selling, but also people adding liquidity and removing liquidity. So they can move around for those functions as well. Let's jump over to the T-shares. Hex is easy to understand. I always say this every day now. It's got the reward pool with inflation and penalties in it. And it's got the ownership pool with T-shares, or T-shares stands for trillions of shares. And, of course, the ownership pool owns the reward pool. And, of course, if you have any changes in the reward pool or the ownership pool, then the Hex payout per T-share changes as well. And as I say, the main game in Hex is to get more T-shares. And it's kind of like a little money printer, and it prints you more Hex, right? Every day you're not having to do anything. You could be out at the cafe, down on the farm, down at the old the club or whatever you're doing. But your T-shares is minting over the Hex there. That's pretty cool. All right, so let's jump away from that. At the moment, it's up 3,800 T-shares, up to 10,466,860 T-shares there. Let's jump over to the, where are we jumping over here? We're going to jump over to the stake percentage of coins. Stake percentage of coins, 9.73% of Hex is staked. And penalties today, remember I said that reward pool has inflation and penalties. Well, 1 million penalties today there. So that's pretty cool. And what else there? We've got the growth numbers. Hex continues to grow, although today the wallets apparently are down 25 to 311,148. I'm never sure quite what those are, whether they're just dust accounts or something. I don't know. It's a bit weird, but that's just the way it goes. The stakers, of course, and this is the headline number here, 110,757 stakers, and, of course, 81 increase there. Nice. So we had a little bit of a pickup on a lot of these days recently. As I say, Richard says it all the time, get out there and do direct promotions for Hex and onboard people. We've got attractive price entry. You're also going to get a 2-for-1 deal at the moment, of course. Everything you get on an ETH chain is going to be copied over the PulseChain. And, of course, I suspect, based on some previous hints from Richard, that we could see some pretty big liquidity pools between the eHex and the PHex there. So Hex on PulseChain, Hex on ETH chain, and have two pretty strong chains, meaning pretty nice, juicy passive income. That's my expectation. And, of course, we'll see how that occurs. But I'm expecting to see some pretty fat liquidity. Am I using the right terms? Is this proper terms? Fat liquidity? But yeah, it's going to be pretty good. All right, so we're up 190 in total holders to 502,896. And of course, we passed 500,000 about 2 weeks ago. And that is it, folks, for day 1052. We're up to day 1053, 49 minutes into the day. And of course, we are sitting pretty nicely here. We've already got some penalties in here already, which is pretty crazy, but we just had the turn of the day. Not surprising there. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. We're heading towards 3 years. And of course, 2nd of December 2022. We're going to have that big party. Hopefully, imagine if we had the highest of stakes out in December. We had the V3 out, test network in November, and then we had PulseChain out as a Christmas gift. Bring us the Christmas gift of PulseChain, Pulse gains, as we say. We look forward. That is the main event, and we're waiting for the main event. It's going to be a lot of fun. And, of course, we're talking about a lot of projects that are going to be launching or indirectly launching onto PulseChain, so or stepping stone onto PulseChain. Let's say that much. That's pretty much it on that one. Let's get into PulseBot, a BNB. And, of course, there has been profit taking by the sacrifices. That was to be expected, so no surprises on that one. And it gives an opportunity for new people to get in. It is not even 1 day yet. We're not even up to 1 day yet. I think we're at about 22 hours, something like that, maybe 22 and a half hours, so not even a full day on the what did we say? BNB Pot. This is a BNB token at the moment. So we did get up to a high back here. This is on a 4-hourly chart. We got a high of $28.11. We didn't quite make the $30 platform, but it's early days on this. This is the first day. And, of course, we have a lot of sacrifices. So we're going to look at the numbers just to show you how that's playing out at the moment. Now, I updated this about an hour and a half ago. So we had a big jump in staking overnight. So this is positive. So the price might be down because of stakers, so sacrifices. So you only need a few decent sacrifices to send the price down, given the liquidity. but the staking class is going up. So this is day one, so it's very early on, and of course the staking metrics are going up and to the right. And the price obviously having a dip at the moment, which means that new people can come in, fresh blood comes in, and they can get that BNB, and then stake that. And that's what we're seeing overnight. We saw 30,000 more staked. That was a big jump overnight. And so now we're up to 606,178 BNB staked. We've got the participation pools also staked, and that's for 100,000. And of course, we've got the total of 706,178 is staked. Remember, the total supply is 1 million. There's 706,000 that are staked at the moment, and the user balance, which excludes the liquidity pool, is at 987,010. Now, these are all based on functions inside the BNB Pot contract, so you can actually see these. And of course, that puts us at 71.55%. Now, I think I said yesterday we're at 78 and a half, something like that. We're now jumped to the 71.55. Brilliant. Now, out of the million that was sacrificed, remember, people get a million on each different chain. The next chain will be PulseChain, and PulseChain is launched in time. And so at the moment, that's 75% of the tokens that have been given to not the team and not the participation wallet. That is 75.11% has been staked so far. So really big deal there on that one. So that's really cool. The other thing, of course, is the BNB Pot team. When I did the snapshot about an hour and a half ago, had 65,000 in their wallet. And of course, that means that if we include their wallet, that'd be 76.6% is either in the team's wallet or staked, which leaves us 23.4%. That would be 215,745 that it is in liquid wallets, excluding the liquidity pool and Uniswap, where there's two trading pairs, one main pair there. So 215,000, so that's reduced dramatically by 30,000 overnight. So it's a big deal. So when the price does come down, it allows new money to come in, new users to come in, and they buy it and they want to stake. So it's actually more beneficial, because if you have sacrifices that aren't going to stake and they just want to sell down the price, and then they're gone, right? They're gone. And then you got new people come in and they want to stake, right? So it actually transfers the stakeability over to somebody else. And of course, we're still in day one, about 22 hours or so into day one. So pretty exciting for this. And we're going to look at that. So far, let's have a look at the results at the moment. Obviously, this is the first game. So this is just the first game, and it's a very cool game because obviously we're talking about staking mostly on this channel. Obviously, people, it's up to you if you want to play these games. I'm not into that, but you can decide. We did do one test game. That was about it. But yeah, you've got to decide on the staking. So that's what we're talking about. This is a staking game. This is the world's first peer-to-peer crypto casino. And of course, this is an existing market. And of course, this is the world's first innovation. And of course, this will be coming to PulseChain. They would have launched on PulseChain already. But of course, PulseChain's taken a lot longer than most people thought. And of course, we see a lot of the teams looking at trying to get their projects up. Now, hopefully, we'll have PulseChain by December, January. But a lot of teams are having to change their strategy. We just saw recently KG talking Internet Money, talking about that. We've heard Power City talking about certain things and stuff like that. So we'll see where all this leads. But at the moment, it's good to see these projects up and running. I think it's very important. Now, the other thing, of course, is by launching other chains, you also bring that wealth effect. You know, I always talk about the wealth effect coming into PulseChain, and that bodes well for PulseChain. We're obviously making a bigger network of people. They'll on BSC, there's got a huge people. They will see a BNB and see how successful it is and want to come to PulseChain. So this is how it works, folks. You just got to network yourself out like this. This is what happens all over the place, and everyone's going to hear about PulseChain that otherwise wouldn't hear about it because they're just stuck in these other ecosystems doing silly little taxation dapps all over the place. Not all taxation dapps are crap, but you know, a lot of them are, just maybe 95%. But anyway, that's enough said on that one, and this is where we're at the stage. So cool. Now, obviously, there's the rewards. Let me have a little refresh here. We've got the airdrop here. Let me just refresh the numbers. Probably increase here. So this is this global stats. So we had 221.7 BNB has now been gone into the airdrop. So this is for stakers. If you stake, you will get that. So let's go to the staking page. The staking page at the moment, if you have stakes, it will show up here. Your stakes will show here. And of course, you will have your benefits in here. So we've got the global stake rate at 71.66%, as I said, per my spreadsheet here. And we've got a change of hands going on the first day. That was completely expected. And this is where we are at the moment. So cool. And you can see the numbers in here. So let's add in the numbers of the staking. So you'll see that much staked. The first payment of stakers, by the way, given the time when BNB launched, is in 11 days. So people who are staked will get their first reward in 11 days, 16 hours which is the end of the month. Obviously, it's at the end of every calendar month you get your staking rewards, which is pretty awesome, right? Now, the cool thing about this isn't based on an inflation project or about growth of users. This is based on a business. In other words, a casino business. As players come in who are going to play anyway, they're not going to play here, they're going to play somewhere else, right? And of course, they come in and then they play their games and they have the opportunity to do that. And of course, you get paid on their activity. So 1.5 to 3%, typically up towards that 3% mark of the trading win of the stuff that goes into the pot will go as fees to everybody, and they get airdropped as BNBP. All that stuff will end up buying BNBP, which is pretty neat. So all the other tokens that go in, there's about 12 whitelisted tokens at the moment that are being used to play. And of course, you can see the first game operating at the moment. Now, in 3 or 4 weeks, folks, this only gets better for stakers. In 3 or 4 weeks, the roulette games will open up. And of course, that's more revenue and more stuff on top of the jackpot. So this is going to get layered on top of each other, and more players will come in. Some people may not like the jackpot. Many do. Some people may like roulette. They come on play roulette. So you can see how it sort of just layers out and expands like this. So it's pretty cool like that. So that's kind of where at the moment. The airdrop at the moment, 221.7. Now, I did put that in my spreadsheet there. So 221. Boy, it's gone up since I talked about it. Man, it's gone up fast on there. Man, oh man, that's gone up fast there. 14.8. Let's put that in. 14.8. And what else is the other one here? 59.1. Are you kidding me? Is it really jumped up that? 59.1? 59.1. All right, so you can see the value in that. That's currently worth, let me see what the price is at the moment. $14.13. So we're going to put that in there. Now, this will move around as the price moves around at the moment. So $14.13. So there we are. So at the moment, $4,100 has gone through these tokens. 296 tokens. Remember the total supply. So at the moment, that represents 0.14% of the circulating supply. So this is a circulating supply. I should probably re-talk that there. Circulating. Let me just put that as wallets. Maybe liquid wallets supply, something like that. That excludes the Uniswap. So that's a 215. We're currently at 0.14% at the moment. It's going to be redistributed. So pretty cool. Now, the other cool thing about that is that, yeah, the roulette will come out and so forth. And we're seeing a change of hands between the sacrifices and new people coming in wanting to stake. So we should reasonably expect the staking numbers to climb as well during this 100-day phase period. So it's going to be pretty fun to see that. So I think that's kind of it. I think we had a couple of comments here from the BNB team as well. 4 hours ago, we have paid out more than 120,000 to winners in less than 24 hours. 3% of that is going back to the BNB stakers. Games are open 24/7, 365, and it's real yield because it's based on a business that's coming into the stakers, which is pretty cool. So really good results on that, folks. And I think that was probably the main comments I was going to make about that. And yeah, and stakers will get paid in the first 11 days, which I think is fantastic, right? 11 days and 16 hours. So that's pretty cool. Now, obviously, 59.1 BNBP so far is going to be burned. Imagine that after, it's going to be every day, by the way, burning. So we're going to have our first burning coming up in probably about 2 hours, I guess. So we won't have 1 million tokens anymore. So it's going to slowly go down. So that's pretty cool to see that. What else going to say about that? The accepted tokens here. These are the accepted tokens for the jackpot game at the moment. Very, very exciting. So we're going to be watching that and see how this progresses over time. And if you want to chat about it, you can always get into new token chats here. So new token chats in here. And you can chat about all the new projects coming to PulseChain, whether they're coming indirectly, because quite a few of these projects are launching multi-chain. They were intending to launch PulseChain, but PulseChain has been a long time. And so projects have wanted to get their projects up, so forth. So what happens if PulseChain doesn't launch to April next year? That's almost 2 years, right? So teams have to make decisions. They can't. Some people say, why not just launch a PulseChain? Well, it's been almost 2 years. So think about it. If you had a project, would you want to wait that long? Now, PulseChain is coming, but we just hope that it's going to be December, January. We just don't know. So the sooner the better. And we'll get all these projects on PulseChain. The other positive, of course, is that by launching your products on another chain, not only do you get all the new audience and the wealth effect playing, but you also get your products out and you say, oh, they're all working pretty well. Now we just have to go and plant them on PulseChain, and away you go. So that's the other benefit as well. So lots of cool stuff. And of course, staking benefits at the moment. People are enjoying that as well. So cool. All right, we'll be watching it over the first month. It's going to be fun to see this play out. This is the world's first truly decentralized crypto exchange. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, cool. I was going to harvest the PulseX, but we really have run out of time there. but let's do it anyway. I'll just have to connect my wallet. We're up to an hour and a half, so let me just sign on here, and let's do some harvesting on the PulseChain testnet. Am I the only one still? Am I the only YouTuber still harvesting PulseX yield farming? Probably am. I think I am. I'm sure of it. All right, let's jump over to. Let's get to the right network here. Let me switch chains, and let's go to the Play Wallet. Let's refresh. And here we go. And we're going to go to the farm and yield farm. We've got our farm here, folks. We've got 15% APR there. I'm sure Brennan's still killing me. Brennan, one of the community members, is in the incentive token. It's been absolutely killing me, crushing me on the APR with the incentive token. So pretty crazy there. Let's connect the wallets. And how many tokens I got? I've got quite a few tokens on the PulseX. We've got 100 and was it 1,140,000? What's it? No, I've got heaps more than that. 140 million PLS tokens, and it's recovered. The price has recovered. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. I was down like 300,000, 200,000, and now it's back up at $913,000. Yes. All I needed is to go up to like another 10%, and I'll probably start being in the money. I was being the money by then. That's crazy. Oh, that's cool. And I've got 58 incentive tokens at $2,300. Let's harvest it. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Boom, 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 boom. Let's go, boy. Yeah. Man, oh, man. That is so cool. I'm sure I'm the only person doing PulseX videos on any of the channels. Let me know if there's a channel doing it on a regular basis, not just on an ad hoc, but a regular basis. I'm yield farming constantly on this one. Now, the burn at the moment. Let's see what the burn is on PulseX. Obviously, we saw on BNB Pot, they used the burn mechanism of PulseX. It was very clever by the BNB team to put that in the gamification. We're at 71.43 billion PulseX burned. Amazing. Now, remember when the PulseX launches, we're expecting something like 17 trillion in the public hands. So that excludes the Origin wallet sacrifice accounts. We're expecting around about 17 trillion. So we're looking forward to that on the PulseX. We're probably expecting slightly less with the AMM bot for PulseChain, maybe about 16.5 billion in there, something like that, maybe slightly lower. But that's kind of where we're expecting at the moment. And look at that. Woohoo! Nice. Buy and burn. Look at that stuff there. All the stuff here. How much fees? Is there any US dollar? $1.80, 466. Are you kidding me? This is up for grabs. Oh, let's get it. I don't know if I can do multiple. I actually forgot. There's hundreds of dollars in USD value there. I don't know how much it's going to be. Oh, no, it won't let me do it. Maybe we'll just do one here. 666. It's 2,200. Let's do the Hex Maxi. That's pretty nice. It didn't even tell me how much that is. Oh, well. Anyway, that is up and running. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We've got the exchange, limit orders, liquidity, farming, pools, and, of course, burn there. I'm not sure about the pools. I've heard some drama, rumors about that, but that definitely is played. So cool. All right, let's jump away from here, and I hope you guys have enjoyed that. We've covered a lot of stuff today. So let's get into that. We're going to get back out there and back out there. Yeah, if you haven't joined our Discord, get into our Discord. The Discord link is in the video description. If you love PulseChain projects, you like to hear about the best stuff. I normally only cover the best stuff. And there's lots of other projects out there, but I don't cover them. There's probably about 120, 130 PulseChain. You just hear me talking about mainly the most top 10 ones that I think are really good utilities or good innovation in the crypto space. So yeah, get in there if you want to hear about airdrops and stuff. We've also got that in the chat there as well with the free claims and, of course, Spotlight projects and PulseChain projects and the new token chat getting in there. If you want to talk about Hex chats, the PulseChain, Hex, and, of course, PulseX or Maximus, Icosa, Hedron, get into the general chat RH, and, of course, just general comments. Get in there as well. A big shout out, of course, to Ted Nelson, who won the Cryptographics 1 million PLSX giveaway. That's awesome. And, of course, he's an exciting community member as well. So we're happy for that. We just hit 850 members, now heading towards 900 members. And we really do have a great community and great information. So if you like good information, we've got all the useful links to all the stuff you could possibly imagine around the ecosystem. And, of course, we add more all the time. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Let's get into the chats there as we wrap up things. And we'll catch you guys tomorrow. I do have a video coming out later today, so I'll get that one out there too. Let me have a look here. We've got a couple other comments here. Let us get in back up here. Man, did I get far behind? Must have got far behind here. I think we got up to there, so we're cool. We've got a Dan in house there. Morning, Superman. Great stream as always, champ. man, these projects keep bringing more crazy experiments in the PLSD. That's true. That's true, man. Awesome stuff, champ. Let's go, Bitcoin. PulseBitcoin, another diamond to mine. Yeah, true that. Brennan says, bow down to Superman for accumulating more Hex. We're not worthy. Yeah, I did. And I don't normally talk about my portfolio, but I definitely have been accumulating Hex. So, yeah, pretty good. I'm pretty happy about that. Bob Wells says, hello, friends. Hello, friends. And, yeah, I'm waiting for $4 BNB Pot, says Bob. Hey, you just never know your luck, Bob. You never know your luck. There's definitely a change of hands, and that's what to be expected when you have a sacrifice. That'll be true for probably all the sacrifices, folks. So if you see all the sacrifices out there, no matter what they are, even if they're top-tier utilities, you're going to see a change of hands in the price chart with that. So, yep. Pulse Pot on fire, says Vets. Yeah, definitely. It's off to a good start. Even with the price pullback, that was expected as people do change hands to new players. Hey, Superman, is the asset token, champ? Is that PLSD token to lock up 30 days to mine Bitcoin? Yeah. So you need asset token. You have to swap PLSD in the first 30 days. It's one of your main ways of getting it. You can get the NFT there as well, but you have to wait 30 days. So if you want to get 30 days to start mining straight away, you need to swap your PLSD for asset token and then put your asset token in the Pulse Bitcoin miner. That's pretty much it. Sandy's in house. Woohoo! Yeah, Sandy's definitely in house there. Thank you, Bob. Much better. Make these dollars, stake it. Yep, get the staking tokens. That's for sure. Yeah, I think I got to that one, so we'll jump through some of this. What else there? Let me have a look here. Will it have horse racing? I hope so. I think someone's going to mention it to Jacob, the dev, about horse racing. I think that'd be really, really cool. Let's jump through some of this. Relax says, you're always killing it. Love your streams, says Relax. I appreciate that. Big shout out to you. My streams keep going longer than I intend. It's just the way it goes. There's just so much to talk about. It really is crazy. Let's jump over there. The testnet is just a BNB testnet, says Pulse Player. Yeah, that's funny. What else there? Let's go on. Let's jump here. Let me just jump over here. Genuine says, did PLSD dip because people don't like the Pulse Bitcoin project? I don't know, Genuine. Maybe it's just some hands. I didn't actually see the trading that went through there, but it's a possibility. I have not checked the trading there. But like I say, there's only 19 hours to go. So if anyone did sell, maybe that is a mistake. We'll find out in due course. Yes, I got it, champ. I read the Pulse Bitcoin paper. We'll wait for base token at launch. Cheers, champ. Says Adam. Cool. That's cool to hear. And Red Debs and House recommend eat the BNB bridge. Swap space is what we typically use, but you can use ChangeNow.io as well there, Red Debs. That's a good way to do it. And make sure you get the tokens right. So if you're cross-chaining bridge, make sure you're getting the right token on each chain. They have different standards on each chain, right? So it's a bit 20 on the BSC chain or BNB chain there. And of course, each chain's ESC20 there. But you can get those access to our useful links in here. You can just scroll up there. We've got swap space up here somewhere. There it is there. So you can get that as well. What else there? We got buy the dip and hot like that and subscribe, says Crypto Jacks. That's true. Anyone nibbling that BNB tip? Unfortunately for them, I'm going to put the pot I won back into the casino staking. Sorry, says Shano. Nice one. Hey, well done to you, Shano. You well done on that win. You little gambler, you. And of course, just remember the focus on this channel is around staking and more conservative investments. So it's up to you what you do beyond that. I nibble when it's down more, says Bob. Yeah. We just don't know when the bottom will be because obviously Sacrifice is selling out. There will be a bottom, and it's a matter of picking that out. So all the best for that. But the staking is every time it goes down, the staking goes up because it switches hands. So that's pretty positive. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. Get into the chat. We can talk all about it more. And of course, I'll catch you tomorrow on the next live stream. And stay classy, San Diego. Stay classy, San Diego. All right, bye for now. Take care. Subscribe, like, share, hit the bell, all that good stuff. You know how we roll. Bye for now. Cheers.
I feel that the security considerations for PulseChain's consensus strength are very, 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 very similar to Ethereum 2.0's. If that makes sense to you.
Makes sense.
We're forking Ethereum 2.0, not Ethereum 1.0. So you beat it out of me, you fucks. You wore me down, okay? So the logic was, do we have more faith in the BSC consensus, which we found flaws in, or rotating to several other options of not very well audited consensus, or the extremely well audited Ethereum 2.0 consensus? And my logic is that if you're going to make things right, doing them during a bear is a beautiful time to do it. And I think it will be quicker to use Ethereum 2.0's consensus than to properly audit and secure Paralia, which is a version of Click, which is what has a lot of problems. And so it was maximum secure and minimum time to market, because we didn't know, like, you didn't know whether the merge was going to work right. Could have not worked right. And you didn't know if they'd ever get to doing it, because the delays were nearly endless.
Yep.
But after they did it, and after it worked right, it was the obvious choice. And so PulseChain will have upgrades, but be primarily the same consensus mechanism that Ethereum 2.0 uses, but is now called Ethereum 1, right? Like, no one called it's not right. Ethereum 2 is now Ethereum 1 since the merge worked. So it's strong, it's safer, it's faster, and any upgrades that come in the future for Ethereum, such as sharding, we will get on our chain. And we wouldn't have got had we stayed with Ethereum 1, because the forks would have diverged. And so it's just better. So we're doing what's better, and it didn't take us any extra time to do it. So it's actually good news. But I got savaged so hard.
54. Oh, yeah.